hearing a word, to hearing a few words from you, and learning a lot more. So we do have some questions for you, and the first one was that realize that your working life, it may not have started, but it definitely moved into policing at one stage. And it was sort of interesting to think that you'd taken on a career in that area, and now you're doing all sorts of interesting things. And just wondered if you could share a little bit about how that came about.
Well, I can. Thank you for inviting me. It's lovely to be here with you all. Um, well, my career as a police officer started because I wanted to get out of the home, get out of the family. So it was an escape. And then the only two options I had was being a nurse because they had a nursing home where you could live when you doing the got the education, or you could go to a police school where there was a possibility to stay in the school. So that was my I chose to be a policeman, but because I didn't like to walk with to become a nurse, I didn't want that. So that was that about my career as a police officer. But I I had I liked it. I liked it. And it ended because there was no progress in that because I told them I am a lesbian woman, and then they kicked me out. And well, they tried to kick me out, but they kicked me out of the school, and then I finished my education as a police my education as a police officer. So I worked for a few years, but it was not a good place to be with all these ideas they had about homosexuals and so on. So I decided to go to evening college and then to study law. And I thought then I will come back as an officer, not as just a policeman, but as a boss. But I got wise in these 10 years that it took. So I decided not to go back to the police. And I just had one big wish, and that was to be happy. And I thought, what's needed for me to be happy? And then a miraculous thing happened. They came from the police. They got wise also in 10 years. And they asked me to come back and to become an officer and a boss. But I said, no, thank you. Well, that's over. So, and then my journey started in finding a way to be happy. And at first I thought, well, go to art school because then you will become happy. Well, that didn't work either. And and then I found I found Reiki, and I found books, and I found whatever. And then I found the Course in Miracles by accident, and that changed my life. Starting A Course in Miracles, studying every day, reading the lessons, reading the theory, practicing the lessons. It really changed my life. And it was only in English, of course, and my English was not very well. So the good thing is that I could not mindfuck with what I read because well, I just when I read it, I could feel the heart in it, but I had not an idea of the exact meaning in the English language of the words. So, and then it came in German, A Course in Miracles. I read it in German, and then it came in Dutch, and then I read it in Dutch, and so I read it about 8 times, and I thought that's enough. 8 times reading A Course in Miracles and practicing it. Well, and then family constellations came on my path, and attitudinal healing right away when I started the Course in Miracles. I phoned here to I found the course, and then I phoned to the man who organized it, and I said, "Is there a group in my neighborhood?" And he said, no, there is not, but you can start one. And I said, well, I'm at lesson 4. Are you crazy? And then he said, well, I will send you a list of people who are interested in the Course in Miracles, but don't want to start a group themselves. And after 3 weeks, I phoned them and I said, are you interested in a group? And they said, yes, I am, but you have to facilitate it. I said, okay, I will. And then the first person came in and said, hello, my name is Claire, and I'm studying A Course in Miracles already 8 years. And I thought, oh my God, I'm at lesson 26. Shut up and listen to this lady. And well, we had for many, many years a course group. And well, it's wonderful to facilitate a course group because I learned a lot from it. And then people asked me to start an attitudinal healing group, and so I really dove in attitudinal healing. I dived in, and I learned a lot from facilitating. I learned so much because when I facilitate a group, I really have to focus on the principles and guidelines for 2 full hours, completely focused, and it's like in a pressure cooker. And so I'm the participant thankful that I could learn um, so many things and a lot about attitude healing and course because they showed up, every week, and I could practice.
Mhm.
Well,
Mhm.
that's a bit what happened. And then, yeah, well, I worked in, how do you say that? I worked as a publisher, and I worked in university, and I worked at probation office. Is that what you call it? And I
Mhm.
worked at child protection. And then my job, I lost my job because of how do you say that? Because of reorganizations, because last in, first out, and well, that's when I started to work, and the people who founded the foundation, Attitude Healing Foundation in the Netherlands, asked me to take it over. So they founded it, and they asked me to take it over in '96, I think, and I took it over. And since then, I'm focused on attitude healing and working with it, and that's it.
Mhm. Mhm. Thank you, Ella. Thank you. Els, one of the other things that a few people commented on as we started going through the book, and one point was that you mentioned that when you started doing this work, you found the word God even hard to say, and that you would use anything other than, and down to elbow,
Yes.
and and you obviously moved a long way from there, and so we would be really interested to hear, how that happened. And, I know in my personal experience that I find it quite difficult. Saying the word is one thing, but actually having any sense of what I really mean for myself by that. Um, so just thought you might have a few thoughts around that.
Yes. Well, the funny thing is, um, uh, elbow. Well, I was brought up in a Catholic environment, and God was used a lot, and I hadn't a clue about what it was or whatever. And elbow was a neutral word for me. And well, now is God a neutral word for me? So it is not that well, elbow became God or God became elbow, because I have no projections on the word God anymore, and that's really um, uh, liberating for me, because when I think I know what God is, then I have a projection maybe of God sees everything and God punishes, or God, well, love, you could change it for love or for elbow or for water or for sun or for it's just it's everything, you know everything is nothing and everything is everything. So God is nothing and God is everything, but elbow is nothing and elbow is everything. So it really, all the projections on it disappeared. And then I saw I can use the word as freely as I can use elbow. So it's well, that changed in me. I think we have a lot of projections on the word God. And when God sees us, oh, we have to do everything right. And well, I don't manage to do everything right. I don't manage to do everything wrong. I just mess around a bit and and well, I do funny things. I do, well, not so funny things, and we all do our best. Well, we just live, and we do what we do. And it's innocence. We do our best, and whatever we do, it's innocence. It's because we just do it like that, and we don't know how to do it in a different way. Because if we would know how to do it in a different way, we would. And maybe we don't know it now, but maybe we know it tomorrow, and maybe we know it now, and we didn't know it 10 years ago. And we all do our utmost best to, well, to do our best. We all do our best.
Yeah. Thank you. And there was just another question was, I know that you do facilitating in attitudinal healing, but you also do a whole range of different work as well. And would love you to give us an idea of the things that you're doing and have done.
Well, I did a lot. Yes, I worked in prison, for example, with an attitudinal healing group. I loved it, and but I don't do that anymore. But what I did a lot and still do is, of course, give facilitator training and family constellations. And uh, the lovely thing in doing family constellations is uh, I can't do it in another way than with a. There's also love is the undercurrent. Is that how you say it? There's always love, and on the top there's in families there's such a quarrel and such a misunderstanding and such an anger and such whatever. But when we can step down and really find um, this undercurrent of love, we can see that in what we see in daily life that can be healed because of that. Then here is love. That's an always yes, an always giving yes, from a cosmic giving yes. And then in duality, when we are when we found our base in this love, in duality, we learn to use an in a true yes and a true no. And often when we are confused about about what love is, then we think we always have to say yes, but that's not true. In duality, yes is as precious as no when it comes from integrity in ourselves. And when we find a safe haven in this love-based existence, we are able to communicate that, and that gives so much freedom and so much space and so much um, communication and so much willingness and so much openness in connecting, because it comes from integrity. It's not from anger, but it's a true yes and a true no. It's genuine. Well,
Mm, mm, mm. Thank you, El. It just seems that in those few sentences you've said, there's so much that can be absorbed from that, and it seems like uh, really precious words and really, like a precious understanding of understanding those things you've said just makes a total difference in our lives, and a total difference in how we live, and also a total difference in how we see everything and everyone.
And ourselves.
And ourselves, yeah.
Yes,
Absolutely.
yes. I think when we can have a love affair with ourselves, I think A Course in Miracles is really about a love affair with yourself, because not with the ego self, but with your essence self. And when you have that love affair with the essence self, you have a love affair with every essence self, but it's not personal. It's not towards one person. It's just well, it's just the essence, and you bathe in it then. Yeah. So you know that everybody is your friend, is your friend, without expectations, without yeah, without demands. It's just there, and it's not personal. That's the good thing. You don't have to go on the tea to everyone or to marry them.
Oh. Oh.
Uh,
Thank you, El. Thank you. Did anyone have another question that they'd like to ask Els? We've got a few more minutes if you would like to ask a question or something that Els has spoken about now, or if you have a questions come up for you in the reading and work that we've been doing together.
I have two questions, if I may. It's Mila.
Thank you, Mila.
Um, Else, it's pleasure meeting you in person. I wrote you already some emails about the courses because I was the one annoying you about AH facilitated training courses, and I know you have them this year twice, and they in Dutch. Will you be anytime soon holding them in English? Because I was looking into AH website, and apart your courses, I don't find anything else for facilitated trainings.
Well, in the Netherlands, we don't have planned an English facilitated training, but when someone is willing to organize it, then it's possible. Yeah, but we have done it for many years that they did it bilingual, Dutch and English, but our translator isn't available anymore, so it's not. It's not what we plan now.
And
But
if we could find a translator, would you be open?
to, well, I have to, well, I think it would be better than to do an all English course instead of a Dutch and English, or a German and an English, or a German and a Dutch
Mm-hmm.
course. That would be better. But maybe it happens. I don't know.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. I'm very eager, so I'll be coming back every few months to you.
That's
And
good.
second
That's
question.
fine. You are in Brussels. You are in
Yes,
Brussels.
yes,
Yes.
I'm the one in Brussels. Yes,
Yes.
yes.
Okay.
And second question, I'm very curious. Obviously, it has been a very long journey, and you involved as a human being spiritually to the place where you are right now. So, on your journey, did you have like spiritual leaders, like mentors, somebody who would guide you, who would lead you, who would help you to evolve?
When I was young, there was an older lady in Amsterdam. I lived in Amsterdam then, and I once in a while I visited her, and she was a psychic. And somebody said to me, "You go to that lady and talk to her." And she became really a good friend. And we just spoke. And then one day she said to me, "You have to save the world." And I went home and I threw myself crying in bed. And I thought, I'm not able to save the world. So that was clear for me. I can't save the world. And later on, I read A Course in Miracles, and there it says, you are the savior of the world, words like that. And I thought, well, I had a complete, total, wrong, idea of what she meant. So I have to save the world from my how do you say, from my projections. and that saves the world. So I have to save the world from my ego. And well, no, I like Gangaji. I looked at Byron Katie, for example. I've read a lot about the Buddhism. I read a lot about Hinduism. So I've read a lot, and but I have a very personal wish to be free, and I never ever took a guru or something like that. So I always stood on my own two legs in that sense.
And did you use any tools, any practices like meditation or?
Well, of course, 8 times reading A Course in Miracles. I always read it and then 20 minutes sat in meditation. And I did that for a lot of years. And my meditation now is doing the dishes and going to the toilet and making the bed.
Mm,
So there's no meditation anymore.
beautiful.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else who would like?
Margaret?
Yes, Martha.
A week or two ago, Trish Ellis visited us and talked about the process of forgiveness. And I also listened to some podcasts that come from America about called Miracle Voices, where people talk about their forgiveness. I just wondered if there was a forgiveness experience that you've had that you'd like to share with us, because they can be very meaningful.
Yes. So when I worked I was very curious about forgiveness because I thought, well, is there somebody who ever did something to me of what I thought I have to forgive that? And I worked in prison, and they were all long-term prisoners, and they all had killed someone. They were there for 15 or 20 years or more. And one day a man said to me, I want to give you um, the process verbal. I don't know how you say it in English, but the record he had given in his when he was at the police, how he killed his wife. And he said, I want you to read it. And I took this material, this written material, and I put it in my bag. And I thought, well, I've really to breathe in and breathe out before I read that. I have to be ready before I want to read how he killed his wife and what he did and exact how he did it. And then after 3 weeks, I remembered, I really spoke to myself and said, well, the essence of our being is love, okay, and I want to read it, and I want to be open to see the essence of this man. And I read it, and it was a horrible story. And then I went back, and I really wanted to see the essence of this man. I wanted to realize that he is a son of his mother. He is a child of God. He's a father. Well, and I learned forgiving from him. I have to cry. So he did me a favor that no one else did. And I'm thankful. I'm thankful to these inmates because no one could teach me this lesson as they did. And I of course, I've been molested as a child, so that happened also. But that's, it's just, it happens and it's over, and it's well, it's just an experience in my life. It's nothing more. It's just what happened, and that's it. And I can tell the story again and again and again and relive it. But it's, it happened once and it's over. So telling the story every time and being upset about it or angry, I wouldn't want to be in that shoes. So when I have to choose to be molested or to be the molester, I know what I want. I prefer to be molested when I have to choose of being the killer or being killed. I would choose to being killed. I really would choose that. So I think it's not easy to live a life as a molester or yeah. Sharon. Sorry, Sharon. I saw a message, but I
Sharon,
didn't
yeah.
I didn't read it quite well. Chat.
Sharon, did you want to say anything to Els or ask another question?
Sharon.
I think Sharon said earlier that she just sent the chat that
Oh yeah.
she's
Oh yeah.
not going to be able to share today.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. All right.
Okay. Okay. I see here. Maybe. Oh, I see the. Maybe you can give Sharon my email address later on, and then she can mail me. Yeah. She asked the question. Yeah.
Yes,
Oh,
that's fine.
okay.
Thank you.
So, well, that's about forgiveness. I always say, can you forgive everything? Can you forgive the cup it's a cup? Can you forgive the tree that it is a tree? And it sounds crazy, but it's in fact forgiving everything how it appears. Will give you a huge feeling of freedom and of uh, detachment in duality, but of expansion in what is. Yeah. Well. Are there more questions or thoughts about forgiveness, for example? No questions, no thoughts?
I'm going to talk.
Yes.
Everybody's sleeping, but I can't help it. I love you. You are so incredible. Your energy just totally washes my heart. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you, Sharon. I thought here was a question about writing the book. Trish.
Yes, yes. Yes, that's so, Els, about your writing of the book, and how it came about that you wrote it. Perhaps something of how it is actually going, what's happening with the book at the moment, and also just your reflections on, now there's been some space, how you're feeling about it now, your book.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, well, the book, it was in summer was to come, and Anja said, where do we go on holidays? I said, well, I first the book was inside, and it said it wants to come out. I first have to write a book. I think I need 14 days, but it was more than 40 days. It was 2 months, and it just in my experience it came out as one long sentence. So I started it, and then there was a dot after 2 months, and then it was finished as a book. And then of course the rereading and the corrections, and I wrote it in Dutch, of course, and that happened. And then I thought I will publish it myself. That's easier. I didn't feel a lot of going to a publisher or whatever. I will publish it myself. But then this publisher came and said, I said I want to quote from A Course in Miracles to the Dutch publisher. Is that okay? And they said, oh, do you have a book? Yeah. Oh, please show me the book. And then yeah, oh, I just want you to let you to know that I use these quotes. And then the publisher said we want to publish it in Dutch, and that was nice, of course. Well, it doesn't the book doesn't feel like mine. It doesn't. I don't. Sometimes when I read a little part in the book, I say, oh, that's a nice book, but it doesn't feel as if it's mine. So I'm not. I don't feel the owner of the book, and it's just one long sentence, and there it was. And I think it's it's what I learned in 30 years that just popped out, and well, there was the book. In the Netherlands, it is well received, and the workshops and things and the trainings I organize, they are always. Well, I put them on the website, and it's in 1 or 2 weeks full. It's booked out until the end of the year, and well, that's how it goes. And then we translated it in English. I don't know how we came to translate it in English. Somebody said you have to translate it, and then we started and did it, and well, it took a year to translate it. And in English, I don't think. Yeah, you in Australia they have seen it, but not nowhere else up till now.
Oh, we're quick.
You are quick. You are very quick, and I love it that you like it, because, well, I just wrote it, and it's wonderful if it can be helpful, and that's okay. And it's I'm not attached to it. I don't feel attached to it. It's okay when it goes around, and it's okay when it's not.
Mhm. Mhm. Leslie.
I haven't got a question, but the first time you spoke, Els, you said that your English wasn't very good. And tonight you said bathe in the essence. Or you said you just were bathed in, and I just, oh my God, for someone who doesn't know English very well, there wasn't any more perfect words than that. That just went all through me. So thank you. And just as a small note, I loved in your book when you said when someone might want divorce and can I help you pack? I just thought, oh, that is an absolute jewel. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Leslie. Yeah. Okay, are there more questions? Or no? So, Trish, what is your idea?
I think through the book, and particularly in the last, we're going into 6, but 4, 5, and going into 6, like forgiveness is such a huge part of attitudinal healing and A Course in Miracles. And, I wondered if you would, like to speak some more about that, or if, anyone here tonight in the group feels that they would, like to ask Els any questions about that at all, please feel free to do that. But it just seems to really be a key to opening so much within ourselves and holding on to those, grievances and grudges. And also, I think the other thing that I have noticed is that it can be so subtle, the fact that we are judging and holding on to grievances. You think, of the big events in your life, and do I need to give forgiveness there? But in reading your book, it's like every little thing there's often judgments in, or grievances about, or hurt feelings. And when you spoke a little bit earlier about things not being personal, I just wonder a lot about, the crux of that.
Yes. Mm. Yes, but when you go on the street and a dog bites you, do you take that personal? Do you think this dog left its home this morning special to bite Trish Helverson or to bite Els Tisse? We don't take that personal, but if the neighbor bites, we think it's personal, but it isn't. When somebody else would live in that house, the neighbor would do exactly the same. And probably he does the same to the neighbor on the other side of his house. So things are not personal. When I wouldn't have married that person, I probably would have married another one. And when my mother wouldn't have had me as a child, she would have another child. So even that is not personal. We take so many things personal and they just are not. It's just, we are just players in a big game. I have a lovely story about that. Um, uh, for 2 days we had how do you say, somebody slept here, a loger. How do you say it in English? We had a guest in the house, and I've hurt my leg in a horrible way, so it's swollen, and it's all these things are all these straps on my ankle are tore off. And one night I asked Anja, my wife, I asked her, could you go to the refrigerator and get some cold pack? And uh, next morning, this guest said at breakfast, I uh, I heard you going to the refrigerator. What did you do? And Anja said, I I got some ice for Els. And then there was lunchtime, and she said to me, I don't like it when I'm your guest. You eat ice in the night and I get nothing. And I said, she went for cold pack on my leg. And so that's how misunderstandings uh, yeah, appear in life. I loved it. And so all these ideas and thinking you are ignored and so bring us in a state of mind, when she wouldn't have said it, she would still think in 10 years that Anja served me ice in the bed and vanilla ice, and that we didn't give her some. It's lovely. This well, I did a group once, an attitudinal healing group, and I facilitated it. And one of the ladies, one of the participants in the group, said to me, this is long ago, she said to me, you aren't as loving as Manju Patel. Well, everybody knows Manju Patel, of course. And it was like a rocket struck me with what she said. And then I went home and I was upset about it. And I decided that every morning I decided to to say to me, I really want to forgive this. I want to forgive this. And it took me, I think, 2 months. And then one morning, every morning I said, I really, really want to forgive this. I don't want to suffer from this thought. And then one morning, it was like an explosion in my heart. It was like on the inside, a light, explosion of light, and it just fell off. And I realized, and the first what came up was, I'm just as forgiving as Jerry Jampolsky. I'm just as loving as Jerry Jampolsky, as the Dalai Lama, as and yeah. Well, since then, I feel like forgiving is really is the end of projection. Stopping projections is forgiving, because forgiving is nothing more than taking back your projections. Are you willing to take them back? That's the question. Are you, are you, do you want to be right, or do you want to be happy? Are you willing to take everything back because you just don't know what's going on? This lady didn't know what was going on in our refrigerator, you know? She just didn't know. And then, yeah, sending your thoughts to, oh, they eat ice cream. You suffer from it. When you do that, you suffer from it. How would you live when you never, ever would make a comparison? How would you live when you never, ever would compare? There wouldn't be a problem at all. You just would be exposed to what happens and then you would react, but you wouldn't suffer.
So Else, is there, in what you've just said, is there a fear around thinking that I might lose my identity if I let go of all my projections and judgments?
Yes. Are you willing to be nothing? Are you willing to be just nothing? And yeah, well, you could say that, well, we are Alpha and Omega. We are everything and we are nothing. When we want to be something, then let us be everything. Let us be the smart one and let us be the dumb one. Be okay to be smart, to be called smart, and let okay to be called dumb. Let okay to be called the loving one and let okay to be called the bitch. Just can you be okay with whatever people call you? And when you are not, you know that inside there's something where you compare and where you think that's good and that's wrong, that's good and that's wrong. And you suffer. When you do that, you suffer. So you can be the nothing. Are you okay to be the nothing or are you okay to be the everything? And it's fun. It's because we live in duality. It's fun to be everything. Somebody comes up to you and say, oh, you are quite smart. And you say, yes, yes. And then someone says, oh, you are stupid. And you say, yes, yes. And you have to laugh. I had this biggest lesson in that for years I took every month a lesson. And I had that month, I took the lesson, I practiced it for a month, every month another one. I had the lesson, whatever they say to me, I say you are right. And whatever they say to me. And this is long ago, it's in the time before the email. And so I got a letter from a lady and she wrote to me, I've been to your lecture and you have an ego up to the ceiling, she wrote to me. And it was in a church. So you know how big she projected my ego. So it was a big church with a high ceiling. So I went I took a postcard, no, I took an envelope and a postcard and I wrote, thank you for your letter. You are completely right. Love and blessings, Else. And up in the envelope, stamp on it in the mailbox. And I said to Anja, oh, that's a nice lesson. And then next day, it's unbelievable, but next day I got a letter. I was on television in Germany. I've been on television, and there was a man, and he wrote me, "Dear Els Thissen, I've seen you on television a week ago, and I've never seen such a sweet and lovely person. And when I would have been in the audience, I would have asked you to hug me." And then I went to the closet again and I took an envelope and a postcard and I wrote on it, thank you for your letter. You are totally right. And thank you so much and love and blessings. And it stamped on it up in the mailbox. And I said to Anja, well, I've learned my lesson, you know, people think everything of me, but how do I perceive myself? What do I think of me? And that's, well, that was a lovely lesson. And sometimes I say, when you don't know how to feel, you better can take one person. When you want to project it on someone else, when you take that serious, you better can take one person and ask them every day, how should I feel today? How should I behave today? That's a joke, of course, what I say now. Yeah. But ask yourself, what am I? Well, am I? And I know when I'm lovely, and I know when I'm um, uh, upset, or I know it myself, but I'm everything. I'm everything. When I'm upset, I'm upset, but only then. And when I'm loving, but only then. So when it comes and it goes, it passes by. I'm not, when I'm lovely now, or when I'm upset now, I'm not upset in an hour. And then I can say, you shouldn't have been upset. What a nonsense. I'm upset when I'm upset, and when I'm not, I'm not. So taking it as it is, just right now, just for now. That's, well, liberating.
Is there anything anyone else would like to share just about their experience that you've had in the time we've been in the group? Anything at all, you're most welcome. Just if you would like to speak, just unmute yourself. Margot, you, yes?
And this isn't exactly sharing. So you've talked a little bit else about taking back projections. I would like to know a little bit about that process, and then how to let the projections go. I think that's the right way to ask it.
Yes, that's a wonderful question. Well, the good news is you don't have to let go anything, because when you stop projecting, they will leave you. So that's easy, I would say. So, but how can you find out? Because when you project, you mostly think it's true. And when you have this feeling, you have what you there's this guy again, and you get this feeling, who I had, this person again. Oh my God, there we have this person again. And you have this feeling, I don't know where you have it, but mostly in your belly, or that you think, oh, I'm not able to say or to speak because one is always talking. And then I'm projecting again. And what is the idea you have? Oh, this is this horrible man. This man is horrible. Is it true? You can always ask yourself, is it true? And can you absolutely be sure that it is true, that it is a horrible man? And what would you say if I ask it, can you absolutely know that it is true? What would you say? No, you don't know. No, you just don't know. Maybe on parts, but not always, all the time. So when you say it's a horrible man, you are lying. And is that what you want to do? And is that what you want to learn your children or learn your friends? And when you realize that you are lying, you maybe want to stop lying. You can say, sometimes I think he's horrible, and sometimes I think he's cute, or he's a nice man, or whatever. And it will help you, because you withdraw your projections from someone. You don't have to let them go. They just leave you. You will find another you will find another way to perceive it. And you can say he's a horrible man. What's the contrary of that? What's the other side of that? It's a nice man. Is he sometimes a nice man? This man, where I talked about? Yes, of course. So why wouldn't you tell the nice story instead of the horrible story? Because the nice story, if you will enjoy. The horrible story, you will suffer. And when you tell the nice story, it's easier to find your way to deal with the not so nice things.
Thank you.
Trish.
Judith?
Yes, Judith.
Yes, I'd just like to share something that I've found, Els, since I've been reading your book and doing this course, is that what I found in almost every single chapter or principle that we've done is at the beginning when I first picked it up and read it, it almost made no sense to me, and or I couldn't get my head around it, or there was like, what's God or oneness or this or that. But every single time, over the 2 weeks, and I think maybe the 2 weeks was a good period of time, it just started to make more sense, and I just seemed to fall into it without really not really talking to anybody else particularly. So there's something in the way that maybe in the simplicity of the way that you've put it forward and you've written it. But what I found is that all of a sudden I would just almost just get it from feeling at the beginning, what's oneness, what's God, what's going on about now and this, that, and all of a sudden I just would fall into it, and just sitting here, and I would then journal bits and pieces with each principle, and looking back on it, it's been quite I would say almost transformational for me over these last weeks. So I just wanted to say thank you for somehow the simplicity perhaps of the way it was written. So I would start off by not even understanding really the words, and by the end of the week or the 2 weeks, I would just be floating in it and knowing exactly. Yeah, it's really strange. It's quite hard for me to put it into words. But yes, it's been very transformational, I think, for me, really. So thank you.
Yes, yes, I say when we try to understand it with the mind, we will not, and when we try to solve problems with the mind, it doesn't work, because when we could solve it with the mind, we would all have solved all our problems. There wouldn't be any problem left, but it doesn't work. So what I hear you say is that you read it, and that you well, it spoke to your heart, and you took it in on that level, and that's why you understand it, because and everybody has a heart, and everybody knows this. What is in the book, everybody knows it, and everybody has it in them itself, But I think you opened your heart and let it in, and that's good when you don't think about it, but just let's speak it to you on another level, because that's where you find it.
And I think that's exactly correct, because I'm a very intellectual, academic person. So traditionally that's how I've always been. And so when you read it from that thing, oneness and wholeness and somehow if you just fall into it,
yes,
like it's almost like falling through a hole or something, and just fall into it, then you just all of a sudden it just floats to the surface or something. I don't know. Yeah. So I think that's exactly what it is.
Yes. But people who like to think a lot, scientists, for example, they really have to, you have to find your balls to go on with this, and then you all of a sudden it grabs you on another level, and not mentally understandable level, but it grabs you on a heart level.
Yeah, and that's when it becomes transformational.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Thank you for your sharing.
Thank you, Julie. Mila?
Yes, I have a question as well. Els, I really admire your work that you do, and I admire who you are, and I find you very inspirational. And I feel like I would like to become like to reach the same state of mind and heart where you are. And it's very touching. And um, I know there is no short answer, and I know that you wrote the book, and there are principles, and there is no quick way to the place where you are. But still, I still gonna try. Do you have like 2 or 3 tips for us? What actions we can take? What actions we can take to slowly go towards that? For me, it's a goal now. I know it's a long journey, and it didn't happen for you overnight, but I know that it's so beautiful to see how forgiving you are, how loving you are, and I kind of feel I would just say forgiving. Sorry. And I know
That's,
I'm not. So yeah, just 2 or 3 tips for us.
well, I think the most important thing is to relax and to bear or to accept that it is as it is. Just it is just as it is. And I always say when you are like we are like a pear on a tree, and we are hanging on that tree, and the sun comes and it shines, and it goes around, and the pear can say ripe, 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 but it doesn't go that way. So can you be utterly happy just with what is now? And when you can be happy with what is now, you are at least happy now. And as now is the only thing there is, you are just happy in the now. So how can you just can you live with what is right now? And of course, there's a longing, and what's driving you, but you will go on, and then be content with what is now. And when you have this calmness in the now and this silence, you will know what your next step is. You will not um, you will not try to go faster than possible or faster than needed, because it's all in the now. And sometimes people just drop in it, just drop in. They don't have to do this whole long travel with this horrible big A Course in Miracles book, That's only for the people who are very desperate, and it's a joke. But well, you are perfect already. You're already perfect. There's no problem at all. Relax and be happy.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mila. Wonderful to see you here after we had this email conversation. Lovely.
It's a pleasure.
Okay, is there Leslie, the mic? Yeah.
I just have like a thing that happens constantly, and it's at work with I work with my daughters, and one of them will often say things like, this customer's doing this and that and that, and I'll just say something like, oh yeah, but maybe, like she's had a really bad day or whatever. And she always comes back with this thing, Mum, you always stick up for everybody else, as if when I say that, it's as if I'm not sticking up for her. But my mum used to always say, wear the other person's moccasins. And it's more like a habit. And because they're our customers, I see them as being right. And if they're not right, it's that thing about we have to appease them and we don't want to lose them. And I know that thing about, a yes from here and a no from here. But I'm trying to actually say to Claire, just look at it from their side. But the other day, she was really upset. And then, of course, it really upset me that she thinks that I'm just sticking up for the other person. Whereas, I just wonder if you've got any tips in that sort of area when, the thing about, I don't want her to think I am sticking up for the other person to spite her. It's rather that there is another side to the story.
Is it your shop? Is it your
Yeah.
yeah. So you are the boss.
Yeah. I've got both daughters working there and we're in the midst of handing it over, but there's a part of me that's
Yes.
finding it a little bit hard to let go as
Yes.
well.
Yes. Yes. Well, you could say we adopt a new company policy, and you say we treat every guest as if Jesus comes in the store.
I think
Well,
I think she'll say I've got crackers, but I can try.
I think she will. I think she will. Well. Yesterday I had here a lady who works at a childcare facility, and they work with the principles of attitudinal healing for their employees, and it is sweet to see it. And well, when you hand it over, yeah, well, you let them go by what they do because you can't change them. You can't
No.
change your daughters, but you could treat every customer as if it's Jesus coming in the store. I found it very helpful when I've problems with the municipal. How do you say that? With the yeah, what's the word? Municipal? Yeah,
Yep.
okay. Then and when they come to check something from the house I think, well, here's Jesus coming to help me. It helps me to stay kind and to stay friendly, and it for me it works. So you could start doing that and don't tell them, eh? Because because don't frighten them. But and when you hand over the store, well, yeah, they have to find their own way. It's yeah, well, it's they will find out how it works when you treat people nice or when you treat people um, from your own frustration or so, or your own fears. Mostly it's fear, of course. Eh?
Thank you.
I don't think they are very into attitude healing or A Course in Miracles, or are they?
No, they're a little bit
Yes.
anti-attitude
Yeah,
healing.
well, how old are they? We have been that age too. How were we in that age? We weren't as clever as we are now. I actually wasn't. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Is there more? So where can we do? Yes, Cheryl. Cheryl. The sound.
Oh, now I'm right.
There you are.
All I can see is myself as well. Yeah, I've been enjoying doing the book, and I must admit I had problems when we can letting go of the past and the future,
Yes.
because I have talked about this in the group where I had a bad experience, and I could have been raped at the time when I was 21.
Yes.
But, I found it really hard to forgive what happened. But what helped was to forgive myself. Then it sort of, I let it go. Forgive myself to get into that position in the first place.
Yes.
So I sort of wasn't so just that principle. I just, no, I can't let go of the past and future, but just forgiving myself to get into the position in the first place, it made a big difference.
Yes, yes.
And it's very helpful.
Yes, it was in the book, I suppose, or wasn't it?
No, no,
Oh,
no.
okay. I often say to people, can you forgive yourself that you were in this situation anyway?
No,
And
it wasn't in a book. No,
no.
I worked that out myself with
Okay.
help, with help
Yes,
from
okay,
Judith.
yes, okay.
Yeah.
So I often say to people, can you forgive yourself that you were in that situation? And it's not about guilt, and it's not about how you came in that situation. It's not about whatever. Can you forgive yourself that you came in that situation? For example, some people say, yes, I've chosen myself to be born in that family. Yeah, well, when you think that way, can you forgive yourself that you've been born in that family? Can you forgive yourself that you chose to marry that guy or that girl? Can you forgive yourself that you had these children? Can you forgive yourself that it went this way with your children? Can you forgive yourself that you took that job or that you quit that job? Just can you forgive yourself that you are in that situation, or you were in that situation? And saying that and really take it inside, I forgive myself uh, um, of being in that situation, gives so many relief, gives so many softness inside, and you go beyond finding someone who is guilty, because no one is guilty. It just happened. Things just happen. Yes.
Thank you,
So
Alice.
it's wonderful that you found that yourself to help yourself. Yes, of course.
We've help from others, yeah.
Yes, of course, but that you practice it, that you use it. Yeah, of course. Good.
Can I ask one more question?
Yes, Mila?
I hope it's a quick one. If people ask you what is the purpose in life, what do you usually answer them?
I usually say, I don't know. And if you want a purpose, it's just to be happy. Can you be happy with what is? So happiness seems a bit, I don't mean go to party every night, but just to be okay with whatever is right now on your path. Just to be, well, I had this 2 weeks ago, I had this injury on my leg. I can't walk. I'm not allowed to walk. I can't walk. So yesterday the doctor said it takes another 6 weeks. Can I be happy with that? And can I, well, I still can tell jokes. And I'm so happy that I'm just not angry about it. And I'm not saying to myself, you stupid girl, why did you hurt your leg? And it's just what it is. And just be happy with that what is now. Yeah, it sounds easy, but it's the easiest way to live, to be happy with what is now. When you don't live that way, it's difficult. It's much more difficult. Yeah. And that is, well, it's wonderful uh, not to be anything, or not to just, yeah, well, it's like flowing through. It flows, go with the flow is a word, but it's going with the flow. It's the easiest way to live, in my opinion. And I don't have to do miracles. I don't have to do big things, and it's just being okay and content with everyday's life, and feel
And
connected.
if I'm
Yes.
not okay, I guess I just need to learn how to, and my brain just needs some training to learn that way.
Well, Mila, it's okay not to be okay. And can you be okay with not being okay? Can you relax in not being okay in that moment when you are not okay? Can you relax in being angry? Can you relax in being upset? Can you relax in being frustrated. Can you give yourself permission to be frustrated as you are frustrated, but not after that. When it's gone, you don't say, oh, I shouldn't have been frustrated. I did the attitudinal healing, and people who do attitudinal healing shouldn't be angry at all. Well, nonsense. Can you be okay with that, what is now, and not make it big, or not make it, not extend it, you know? Just take it for what it is and not judge about it, not judging it. Do you
I guess
understand what?
I
Do you understand?
understand. I guess I need to give myself permission to be okay with that.
Yes, because it's lovely to be angry when you are. And when you think I'm angry and I shouldn't be angry, well, it doesn't work. I always say when you are angry, okay, go to the kitchen, take the alarm clock where you cook eggs with, put it on 3 minutes, send everyone out of the house and scream for 3 minutes. And then after 3 minutes, the clock says, "ee," and when you think it's not enough, you take another 3 minutes. And then, so after that 6 minutes, mostly it's over. It's okay. You know, you have screamed it out. You know, it's nonsense. You know, you don't want to scream a whole day. You just screamed. It's not serious. It's not a problem. It's not something where you have to go to the shrink for. You just screamed. And well, it's wonderful to scream 6 minutes. Sometimes I say when people have, when partners have an argument or have stress with each other, I'd say, please go to the kitchen, take the alarm clock, ask your partner to sit on the couch, and then you say, I have to scream for 3 minutes. It's possible that your name, that I shout your name, and it has nothing to do with you. And then, well, yeah, exactly. That's funny, you know.
I'm sorry. I just think of my house. It will be almost every day. Thank you.
Yeah, people have actually done it, and they said it was very helpful. And yeah, why not, you know? And when you can say it in that way, you know it's nonsense. But when all the anger is here, and it's lovely to yell it out and know it's not true, it's nonsense. And I yell, you know, how are you? I'm very, very fine. And yesterday my father died. You know, that's what. And then maybe you cry, and that's no problem. And you cry and it stops, and you cry and it stops. And how are you? Well, it's fine. And my father died yesterday. Yeah. So how are you? I'm fine and I'm upset now. How are you? I'm fine and I'm sad.
Thank you. That's
Okay.
very helpful.
Yes. So, Naya, let's see. What could we do as a forgiveness?
I'm aware, Els, that it's 8:54.
Yes.
So I'm just thinking, how does everyone feel about the time? And are you happy to stay online till 9:15? Oh, sorry, sorry about that for Belgium and Holland, but it would be 9:15 for the rest of us. Does that work for everyone? Everyone happy to stay on till 9:15?
9:15, okay. Let's
So
do
that's 20 minutes, Els.
okay. Yes, let's do a short forgiveness exercise. Okay. When you please close your eyes and go to the place in you or somewhere else. What is the most peaceful place for you? The most peaceful place. Please go to that most peaceful place you know. And when you find obstacles or obstacles to come there, please see how you can go around or over them or beneath them, or maybe you only have to open a door to arrive at that most peaceful place. And when you arrive there, Connect with this peace. What's there? Connect with the peace there. And rest in this peace as much as you can. And you can't do it wrong. It's not possible to do it wrong. Connect with it as much as you can. And make it yourself comfortable there and rest in this peace. And how are you there? Are you wearing clothes or are you wearing something else? How are you there? And how is the weather? Or is there no weather? Is there something else? And just rest in this peace. And imagine you are already 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, 10 hours in this peace. A day, a month, a year. Relax. And then you can look around and then somewhere appears like a stage of a theater somewhere around you. And you can go to look at the stage. You are not entering it, but you take a chair and you make it yourself comfortable so that you can really have a good look, like you are in a theater. You have a good look at the stage. Maybe it comes to you, maybe you go there, but then you are in a chair and you have a good look. And then all of a sudden, somewhere from the sides, maybe through the curtains, I don't know, or on another way, there comes somebody who you have a problematic relationship with, or where you have, well, what doesn't feel very, very fine or nice. That person comes on the stage and you just look. You just have a good look. You don't go there, you can't touch someone, you just look. And then ask yourself, what do I really know about the life of that person? What do I really know about that person? And if you have answered that, then exactly perceive it as it is. Exactly perceive it as it is. Don't make it brighter or worse. Don't make it sweet or ugly. Don't make it better or worse. Just see it exactly as it is. And then you say in yourself, thank you for what you're bearing. Thank you. And it is fulfilled, or it's done. Thank you, and it's done. You made it. And then you take your energy back to yourself, to your heart, and you let the one get off the stage on the other side. And then your parents enter on the stage from one of the sides. And you see them there. And ask yourself, what do I really know about them? What do I really, really know about them? and answer that question. And then you see them exactly as they are. Don't make it worse. Don't make it better. Don't make it sweeter. Don't make it sadder. Just see it exactly as it is. And then you say in yourself, thank you for everything you carry and have carried. And it's okay, it's over, it's fulfilled. And then you take your energy back on yourself and you let them go off the stage. And then there's another person, that one, you know exactly which one that is. Let them enter the stage. And see that person, see that life exactly as it is. Don't make it bigger. Don't make it smaller. See it exactly as it is. And ask yourself, what do I know of that life? What do I know in essence of that person's life? And then you say, thank you for what you have carried and maybe still carry. And it's completed up till this moment. It's okay, it's done. Then you say thank you and you take your energy back and you let that person leave the stage. And then you return to that peaceful place where you are. And you say to yourself, thank you. And then you can say your name for all you have carried up till now, right to this moment. Thank you for everything you have carried and maybe still carry. And it's completed up till this moment. It's okay. It's completed. And then somewhere comes somebody walking over to you, and that's your helper. That's your helper in your life. Maybe you know him already, or her, or it. Maybe not. It's your helper. And you can ask your helper, what is the most important thing for me to know for my life right now? And then you listen or you feel what that helper shares with you. And ask the helper also if you can consult him or her or it another time and next time. And where to find it, or him or her, where you can connect, contact. And when you have all these answers, you can say thank you to the helper and let him or her or it go. And then rest again in that peaceful place. And when it's okay for you, you can come back in this space in the group. Open your eyes when you had closed them. So, if someone wants to share about this, that would be lovely. And feel free. It's not necessary. It's possible.